We had a ton of deleted and unused content for Twilight Monk, the game. And I wanted, in this video, I want to expose some of the deleted stuff, some of the early development, specifically a completely alternate and unused version of the DojoPath, the start of the game. And I'm going to explain why we cut a bunch of this stuff. I don't want to disappoint you. Like, yeah, you won't ever be able to play this stuff, but at least I can show it to you here on my YouTube channel. All right, let's dig into the alternate DojoPath for Twilight Monk. If you've played the game, you're going to realize right away that there's a lot that's different about this. Like, first of all, we had originally a save shrine, like the very first thing that you see. That's like the first thing in the world. And that did make sense because we wanted the player to save right away. We ended up just doing like an auto save for the beginning of the game to make sure that the player, if they died in this stage, they would just respawn at the very beginning. But the first thing that we wanted the player to run into was not a save shrine. The first thing we wanted the player to run into was Rin. And so in the final game, Rin is standing right here instead of this save shrine. Okay, so this area is really where things shake it up a lot. We had this sequence in here and I thought, oh man, like give the player something challenging right away. Like timing, if you try to jump through here and you time this wrong, for example, you're gonna get knocked down into this lower area. And so that kind of creates this challenge, but it's not like a hardcore challenge right away. It's something that just kind of knocks you back a little bit, but you're not so beat up about it that you're like, oh man, like I died or something. It's like a light cost for failing. Oh my gosh, right away, I am gonna die. The mummies just keep spawning, and this was way too challenging for just having picked up a controller. You don't want to do that to a player. There's also some weird thing where some of our fading walls here, this one wasn't working correctly. But if you were to proceed along here, you find that it's a dead end. Oh my gosh, they are gonna kill me. Hang on, let me take care of these guys. You find that this is a dead end and it's like, oh, well, that's a disappointment. So like right out of the gate, you can see why this wasn't the best choice for a first level. You're already giving the player enough reasons to be frustrated. And we went through a lot of playtesting. People might not realize how much playtesting you go through with every stage. It's especially important in the first like 20 minutes of your game that it's very interesting and compelling and not frustrating. That's like the biggest thing. Find any point of frustration and knock that off. What I did like this, having like some kind of a bombable wall immediately that lets the player know, hey, you know, come back here when you got more abilities later. This is a Metroidvania, you know, that's what that immediately communicates. This guy is way too hard and he ended up getting rebalanced to be more difficult. We didn't introduce the skeleton archers right away for a while. I'm pretty sure that we didn't even update the map. No, see, this is like a working map. It didn't even have rooms established for the mini map for this level. And if you fall down here, you have to redo that whole area. Like, we were going for something that was more Souls-like, but then we got a lot of pushback on that from early play tests going, hey, maybe ease the player into challenge. You know, this was right after, if you think about it, right after Elden Ring came out. And we thought, oh, players want a real strong challenge. What we've come to find is that the opposite's true. They say they do, but they don't. And that's very evident when you look at all of the complaints that we don't have an auto save. Like, and that's now at some point we're even considering that, because it's like, well, if players just find the game too difficult, then that's not working for our needs. So this was a whole area that was completely cut, whereby the player could navigate through these sort of underground passageways. Did that platform? There was something about it. I jumped through it. So as you can see already, like way more challenging for having just started the game. Teaching the player early on about locked chests. Another factor and another reason why we wanted to shorten this dungeon, we wanted to get the player into the story and into the adventure a lot sooner. And so having these really difficult jumps like right in stage one, it doesn't set the player up for feeling like you're developing your skills, you're building up your skills. Your first stage kind of has to just be the tutorial to teach the player the basics of combat, the basics of your systems, just to make sure, like in the final game, you would have already been to the dojo. This would have been where you fight Nox, and you can see a totally different angle on the dojo right here. The door was going to open on the side, and we ended up making that something that's in the background, that's a door that you can walk into. Other things that were different about it, which I did not show you. There was a whole underwater area down here as well. And this had like some different connecting rooms that were already done. We had this system whereby you could kind of swim down and then see the top of the water in different parts. So you'd be kind of like spelunking a little bit. And then there was a large area of water through here that would lead to a hidden room. And we have something similar to that in the final version. But the other factor was making the player backtrack. Let's say that you went back to the dojo to get some of the upgrades, the talisman upgrades. Man, that's a long trek to have to go through that whole thing again. Even if you had new abilities, you could double jump. There was a bridge that lets you like shortcut your way back. The original version of this had a whole other room that was this big tacked on over here as well. And we thought, man, no way. We need to shorten that, make it a quicker loop, and get the player into the story and get the player into Crescent Isle and the town a lot faster. And so like, there you have it. That was the deleted DojoPath. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know. Let me know if you want to see more behind the scenes of cut content from the Twilight Monk game. Just to let you know, we just released our 4th patch for the game. So we've included things like improved player movement. The dash is a lot smoother with less rubber banding. You'll notice some very subtle gameplay improvements, and we're still going in and going so far as to add new art to environments. Whenever I get a free minute, I'm adding to this game still 6 months after release. And then we're also adding some new enemy behaviors as well to make even the most basic enemies just a little bit more engaging and fun. So I do really enjoy reading your feedback on Steam. And if not there, then leave the comments for this video, for example, or any of my videos about the game. And here's the cherry on top, dudes. You can go to Steam right now or the Nintendo Switch store and download a free demo. That gives you a couple of hours of gameplay so you can find out if this is the kind of game that you'd like or not. It still will require some of your skill. You will develop your platforming skill while playing this game, but it has an easy mode and a hard mode, which you can access from right out of the gate. And yes, if you play the demo, your save will carry over to the full game. And for those of you who are interested in the world of Twilight Monk, I've got art books, I've got novels, I've got comics. You can check all that out from the links below the video. All right, thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.